I had this person come to me recently because her two extremely large dogs were pulling like crazy on the leash, kind of like they were sled dogs and she was the sled. The dogs were both over 100 pounds each, and they, to the point where they actually pulled her over one time, and she broke her wrist, and she was worried that that was going to keep happening because things were getting worse and worse, not better and better, regardless of what kind of training she was doing. So I did an energy reading with her, and I kind of figured out pretty quickly what was going on. See, she was feeling like she was being pulled in multiple directions at work. She was having difficulty setting appropriate boundaries with her boss, constantly being asked to do other things that she wasn't even supposed to be doing, but she couldn't say no. She was not happy at work. But what I also discovered is she also worked from home. So her dogs were very aware of her dissatisfaction, let's say, her stress and her overwhelm from work. And due to other family obligations, she wasn't able to take her dogs for a walk in the morning. When she knew when she would do that on the weekends, she would take them for a walk and stuff, they would be fine, or at least much better than they were. And what I realized is because she worked from home, there was no separation of work and family. She literally would walk out of her office and pick up the leashes and take them for a walk, taking all that overwhelm and frustration and feeling like she was pulled in multiple directions on the walk. And of course, her dogs were mirroring that. So once I helped her realize that there was a correlation between how she was thinking and feeling and work and how her dogs were behaving on the leash, just having that knowledge, that day she took them for a walk and they were better. They were pulling probably about 50%, just the knowledge. Then we did some work together, individual one-on-one, and we worked on a plan, on a strategy of how to separate work from home, right? How to disconnect from those emotions that she was carrying from work, that feeling of overwhelm. Came up with a strategy. And what I asked her was, what's kind of your favorite thing to do to kind of decompress? And she loved to sit on her balcony. It didn't matter the time of year. She loved to just sit on her balcony and watch the days go by. People go by and, life kind of go by. So I invited her to experiment with, after work, instead of taking them directly for a walk, because she had a lot of feelings of guilt of them having to wait around for her a lot of the time because she was doing all this extra work. She had all this kind of guilt. So to relieve herself of that guilt and go and sit outside on that balcony and decompress after her work day, and then take it for a walk. And, it only had to be 10 or 15 minutes. We experimented with the length of time. She started doing that, and the pulling went away virtually overnight. And now she makes that a regular practice. And we also together worked on some boundary setting with work and helped her do that. And now the decompressing, even though she does it, she doesn't really even need to do it because she's setting appropriate boundaries with work, creating that work-life balance actually effortlessly. And I know that sounds weird to be able to do that effortlessly, but it's quite possible. So these are the sort of things that we talk about during an energy reading and during some one-on-one sessions with me on helping people with, one, recognizing what's actually really happening and what their animals are really showing them, and two, making changes to help not only her, but to help her dogs as well. So when you're ready to find out what your animal's behaviors are actually trying to tell you and then make changes so you can fix it, then reach out. Let's talk.